Hello, hello, good people. Hello, and welcome back to another car conversation or episode of Make America Think Again, dependent upon where you can, whether or not you're hearing my voice or you can see my face. Welcome to you all, and thank you for subscribing. All right, so weekend update. Basically, there's a lot of stuff that happened this week. I got a couple other videos because I wanted to kind of talk about a few things in depth, but we can move through this other material pretty quickly. Okay, so number one, the Ghislaine Maxwell transcripts were released. So Felon 47's former personal attorney, who is now with the DOJ, went and talked to Ghislaine Maxwell and then, got her to basically, I haven't listened to it and I told y'all I didn't want to hear from her. Okay, I'm not listening to hours of no bullshit. That would be a complete waste of my time. Why would I sign up to sit for hours to have someone lie to me? She has been convicted on 2 counts of perjury. You're a liar. I don't want to hear anything from you. And multiple counts of sexual assault and sexual abuse, molestation, etc., on children, young girls. So I definitely don't want to hear from you. If I hear from anybody, I just want 2 things to happen. I just want them to release all the documents, all the pictures, all the bank records, all of it. Release all the information. Let us go through it. Let us decipher for ourselves what is important, who all was involved, who's still involved, what's still happening, because I believe there's still shit happening. That's why they're trying so hard to bury this and hide it. And Ghislaine, stay your ass at Club Fed, I guess, since you're there now, and do all the basket weaving and yoga you can do. I don't care to hear from you. But that happened this week. Those transcripts were released, and there was nothing. What's been released so far is stuff that has already been out there. Okay, Garcia from the House of Representatives, he is over that committee who received these documents, or he's on that committee who received these documents. I'm sorry, I believe Comer's over that committee, chair of that committee, and he has said there's nothing new here. But they only released like 33,000 pages, and there's like up to 100,000 pages. So they're going to do this whole trickle things out because they're still hoping that we let this go. And the more that they do this, doesn't it make you more interested in why they're trying to hide this information so much? I mean, it just piques my interest every time they try to throw out this red herring or a distraction. So I'm going to chalk up Ghislaine Maxwell to a distraction. These transcripts, we don't care to hear from her. We want to see everything that's in the files, all the documents that you have on Jeffrey Epstein and his activities and his involvement with other people, i.e. Israel, and what's going on with them and who all is involved, who all was flying on the plane, who was at the island, who was at the New York townhome, who was at the ranch out and wherever that was that he had. We want that information. And if I hear from anybody, it should be the survivors. If they want to talk, if they want to come forward and talk, let's welcome them. Let's put them on some shows. Those are the only people I want to hear from. Okay, so chalk that up to a distraction. We also had the raid on John Bolton's house. Now, here's the thing. John Bolton has been butting heads with Felon 47 since he got kicked out or fired the first administration, right? And then he went and wrote a book about stuff. So he knew what was coming. I guarantee you, if anything comes up or out of that raid, that they've confiscated something, if anything comes out of it, it's because they planted it. Because this man, John Bolton, has been in politics since the Bushes. He worked with one of the Bushes. So he's been in politics long enough to know if they're going to come after you, don't make the shit readily available. So I doubt very seriously anything was found, but if they did find something, I would question it I would think that it's some bullshit, and they were trying to they planted something in the house. So let's consider John Bolton's whole situation, that whole fiasco, another distraction. Then we had Felon 47 decide he wanted to make an announcement that he wanted to go walk in the streets with the National Guard. Now, my first thought was, oh no, oh snap. He's going to create another fictitious incident. They're going to stage another incident to where there's, some harm or some threat to him, and then that is what they're going to use to declare martial law. That's literally what I was thinking was going to happen this week, but it didn't. He went out, he talked about grass for about 30 minutes, how he's an expert on grass. How y'all still following this dude? I don't understand it. Unless I'm missing something about your education level or your IQ. Maybe that's the case, but this man went out there and talked about grass and how he's an expert on grass. I have two career suggestions with the time that he has left. And from those cankles and all the stuff that you seeing on his hands, the makeup they trying to cover up on his hands and stuff, I don't think he has very long left. I really don't. But with his time, go be a comedian. Go do some stand-up stuff, or go do some more interior decorating. He likes, he wants a ballroom. He likes all this gold, tacky gold shit all over the place. Go do that and leave the rest of us the fuck alone. That's what I would like for him to do with his next, however long he has. But yeah, that walk down the streets of DC, thank goodness it wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be, but it was definitely a distraction. So now he's also going to deploy, I mentioned this in the last video, he's going to deploy another 1,700 National Guard into areas now that are red states. So it's about to get really interesting. It's about to get really interesting, because on top of that, I would say this is another distraction because he definitely doesn't want his MAGA people to continue to ask about these Epstein files. He wants y'all to leave it alone for sure. So he's sending National Guard into these red states now: Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Wyoming. The National Guard is coming to you now. It's your turn now. And so this could be another distraction, or this could be because now you have the DUI hire that's over there over the DOD. His feelings were hurt because he got booed and chastised this past week as he tried to walk through Union Square. So, he's got a vanity issue and he's got an addiction issue, which is why I think he's the weakest link, but that's another conversation for another day. But he has said that National Guard, okay, carry your weapons in the street amongst regular everyday civilians. So now that they have permission to do that, they're going to send them into red states. Red open carry states. So y'all stay tuned. There were other things that happened. I got other videos on that. If you want to hear everything that went down in Texas this week, what California is planning to do to counter what happened in Texas, I gave you a whole separate video podcast for that. And then we talked about, I talked about this whole National Guard situation too in a separate video, because that is critically important. But that's the bulk of things that went down this week. Again, there was a lot of shit. A lot of shit is happening every day, every week. It's hard to kind of keep up. But here's what I will say to you. I want to end this with two things. Number one, with all that we have going on here, I know it's probably very challenging to even think about another country or any other group of people. But in Gaza, people are starving to death. Famine has been declared that famine is occurring. It is officially happening. We've seen videos for months now of children that have been dying, but famine is officially happening in Gaza. That's number one. Number two, so we got to continue to keep pressure on there. Number two, please remember that we outnumber them. And what is happening, what this administration is doing, is continuing to spread the National Guard, military, other entities of law enforcement, DEA, FBI, etc., Homeland Security. They're spreading them thin. Every city that they expand out to is going to expand their numbers, spread them out, and make them thinner than if they were all centrally located and executing one task. Okay, so my point is, we outnumber them. Please don't lose sight of that. We outnumber them. And the thing is, so let me go back to the Pete Hegseth moment that I brought up. It was Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, and JD Vance walking through Union Square, and it appeared that they thought they were going to receive a warm welcome, and they did not. They so did not. People were yelling at JD Vance to go screw a couch, and booing them, and etc. You could see the fear all over Pete Hegseth. He was trying to smile, he was doing the thumbs up, but you could just see the fear all over his face and on his body. That's why I say that he's the weakest link, on top of the fact that he has addiction issues and he definitely has vanity issues. So he's butthurt because he got booed, right? But that just showed them how few people are actually in their corner. And if you look, yeah, every episode that I post, there's always going to be a few rascallions in here posting their nonsense. I think they're getting paid. And I think when big issues come up, they swarm to all social media to post whatever they need to post to get their little checks. Fine, get your little checks. Hopefully you'll learn something along the way. But that group is getting thinner and thinner. They're peeling off. They're paying more attention. And that is the reason why all my MAGA folks, all my red state folks, why he is sending the National Guard to you, because they need to instill that fear. They don't want you talking about and investigating and getting off messaging. They want to keep you in line. And right now, they think that fear-mongering, it worked before, fear-mongering is the best way to do it. Intimidating you is the best way to do it. So the National Guard is coming to you. That sums up, just some of the high points from this week. But please watch the other two videos where I really go in depth in regards to what's going on with the National Guard, and also what's going on in regards to gerrymandering in Texas and the vote that Californians have coming up on November 4th. Please make sure that you're registered by October 20th, and on November 4th, or early voting leading up to November 4th, that you vote yes to Proposition 50. We've got blue states, we got to stand up and we got to fight this. We got to fight this hostile takeover that we are in. I'll talk to you all soon.